Morning. Okay, we are now back to the second part of our PowerPoint tutorial. This is Dr. Robinson. Hope you're all doing well. What I want to do now is give you a few cheats or some shortcuts to help you get this project done and also start building the other slides that we'll need for the presentation. Okay, last when we left off, we actually created these two slides. We created our title slide, which you see right here. Then we also created our intro slide. Remember, the introduction slide in this case actually operates as our introduction to our speech. So what we want to now do is basically now create a quick agenda slide letting us know what's going to take place, and then we're going to start putting in various bits and pieces of elements that we need and then come back to the video. So this is going to be it's going to be a little bit lengthy. So I'm going to break this up into two additional slides. So the first one was roughly 45 minutes. This two will probably be in about another 45 minutes or so. And then the last part of the tutorial will be one last 45-minute slide. But it it will help you as far as showing you what I'm looking for and also give you some tips along the way as you develop future PowerPoint presentations for other courses, other classes, even in your professions. Okay, so what I want to do, believe it or not, is I'm actually going to duplicate this slide. So I'll go ahead and double click, then I'll come to duplicate slide, and boom, there it is. Now, what will I do here? I will actually take out this because I don't need it. All right. So it's gone. So then I'll go back up to the other slide, which is our master slide. We'll call it that. And I want to actually get this entire thing here. So I want to make sure I can go ahead and go all around this, collect everything, and select all that I can. So I'm going to collect it. We'll see what happens. And I'm going to do a paste in this slide. Paste, special, no, just do a regular paste. I'll probably just get the text box. Oh, I got the whole shoot and match. Great. So what I want to do now is actually just drag this and make this kind of, again, fade this out in the background. And we'll just use this primarily as just some spacing or some actual filler. So we'll grab this and bring it down if I want to move it. But the idea here is really to use your grids. Your grids will help you. Introduction. So what I want to do also is I got the introduction. I'm going to change that from introduction, and I'm now going to actually say agenda. Boom. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically replicate this entire text box as well as everything else in it. And I'm going to just say drop and drag here. Cut, paste. All right, so then I'll bring it down, and I want to actually place the information here. Okay. Place it there. And then I'm going to replicate the process. Copy. Then I'm going to paste. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to just basically organize them and try to make sure they're all uniformed. Again, notice the boxes that you have right here. So everything looks kind of nice and neat and orderly. Okay. Let's go ahead and paste that up a little bit more. Bring that down some. Just order it up a little bit. And if I need to, I will create another one. Boom. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and try to space them out a little bit even, make them as even as possible. Again, take your time with this. Do not rush it. It will take you some time. And what you want to do with that is now we're just going to go ahead and label them. Agenda, agenda, agenda. Well, it's not going to be agenda, agenda. We'll basically go back to our outline that we have and go look at our steps. This is where I don't need that. I'll go back here. And let's go back to our outline. Let's find it. Demonstration speech outline. Okay, good. So what we will do is, well, go back and grab the right thingy. All right, so we've got that. Drop and drag. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to basically notice that we've got these main steps here. We've got these 3 primary steps. So items needed, stretching, executing the lift, and then those are the 3 basic headings that we'll have. So I will go ahead and use those headings, believe it or not, to create the actual box. So here we will say, instead of agenda, we'll say needed equipment. Here we will say, what else? I will probably, let me double check this. Stretching. Executing the lift. If I can type today. So right here, executing the lift. So those are basically the 3 things that we'll talk about primarily within the slide itself. So I've got these 2 other areas here. Do I really need them? Going back and thinking about it, no, I don't. But I'm going to basically take them out. So I am going to take them out. And then I'm just going to go back and respace the whole thingy. So now I can bring this down. We can even bring that down too. So as you notice, again, the spacing is okay. And we now have another slide that we've created. Boom. So we go back, and again, a quick cheat is now we're going to do this. We're going to basically duplicate this slide. As we duplicate the slide, what I'm now going to do is take away this piece here called the agenda, and I'm going to take this slide, take away this part called agenda, boom, it's gone, and I'm now going to add this here to where it was, and I'm going to try to move it up so that it's uniform. I'm going to go back and match it up to this slide that we have as well to make sure that we have everything to where I think it is, so it's all matching. Okay, we're good. So then I'm going to do the same thing for the other sets of slides. So I'm going to here, again, duplicate the slide. And I am going to take out the needed equipment slide, cut, and I'm going to actually take this and pop it over here the same way. All right, again, duplicate slide, and then here, what do you think I'm going to do? Same thing. Take that out, bring in executing the lift. Pop it where it needs to be. Bring it up. All right, so now we have basically created 6 slides. Now, within each one of these slides, we also have subheadings. As you can see, we have, again, needed equipment, and I can basically take that stuff out wherever it is. I can remove that now and take that out as well. Come to the next slide, stretching, take that out. And so as you notice now, we actually have, if we go ahead and make this a little bit bigger, I'm going to do that for this word. Make that a little bit bigger. We now have in our little menu, our side menu, we have all of our subheadings that we need. Okay, so that's going to help you an awful lot. Now here is where it's going to get a little bit more like we did last time. We're actually going to build the slide again, but we're going to build certain slides, and we're also going to incorporate pictures as well as limited text, because I don't want your slides to have any more than 20 words per slide, and I don't want you to have any more than 10, maybe 12 slides max. We'll talk more about that later. Let's go ahead and go into needed equipment. Now, I obviously have to go ahead and list the items that I'm going to need. Come in.
I'm going to just dump this on his desk and take this back.
Okay, that's fine.
My son. He should be child abuse.
Okay. Right now I'm recording, so not a problem. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to now insert our needed equipment. I'm going to actually list those pieces. I actually went ahead and did some staging. So I'm going to go and grab the photos that we have. I'm going to show you exactly what we did there. I'll take a quick pause, and actually I need to take a pause. Thanks, no problem. And so we're now going to identify the items that we need. So to do that, I'm going to, in this case, again, use this as a background, but I want to also provide the items. So what are the items that we're going to need? Well, let's see. Copy and paste. Whoops, sorry, copy. And let's do a paste. But we're going to make this a little smaller. So let's reduce the size of this. As I reduce the size, I'm going to now also try to place everything in a good position. And let's see if I can move this over here. And so I'm going to basically copy and paste, and then I'm going to identify the pieces of equipment we need. Copy, paste, paste, paste. I think that's enough. And then I'm going to organize these around my image. We'll come back and fix this. So the items that we're going to need are, of course, clothing. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that. Gym attire. We will also need proper shoes. Belt. And then straps or gloves. Straps, optional. All right, so I'm also going to reduce the size of this font a little bit. Make that basically, I'd say a 16. And then as I make them all 16, I also want to think about how I want them to be. Do I want them to be to the left or to the right? I think I want to go ahead and make them to the right on this. We'll see how it looks. So let's see how one looks if I flush it to the left. And flush that to the right. I'm sorry, flush to right. Okay. So maybe that's okay, because on this other side right here is where I'm actually going to place the image. So I want to go ahead and possibly even reduce the sizes of these boxes a little bit, because now I have to go ahead and insert the photos of all these items, and they are quite a lot. The key here is uniformity. So notice what I'm doing. And let's see what it looks like if I give myself a little space on the outside. Interesting when you think about it. Let's move that over because I don't want to lose too much of that. Right. So I kind of like that, and it gives me enough space to insert the photos that I'm going to have to now pop in. So I want to go ahead and just I'll see what I can do about this. Maybe I can cheat and reduce this down to a different font size, and let's see what happens here. So we'll go back to home to the font and see what we can do to bring that down just to 14. It's a little too much, so I'm going to go ahead and try another way about this. Let's see if I can. There we go. Boom. Well, S. Weightlifting shoes. I don't like that because I don't like how that W is out there like that. It's just hanging. Could be better. If I squeeze it over just a little bit, let's see what happens. Okay, so let's bring it all over just a little bit. Let's bring that over a little bit too. Okay, so everything is now how I want it to be. It's perfectly aligned. So that's fine. I've got that. Now in this section here, folks, I'm going to go ahead and now start popping in the photographs. So I now have to really start building the photos. And this is going to be a very interesting task. But again, I have these photos that I now have to import. So I'm going to go back to home and I'm going to actually try to insert my photos. So I'll go to my photo browser and I'm going to look in my iPhoto thingy, and I should have a plethora of photos, all related. And I do. So let's see, I've got that. Oh, wow. Okay, so I actually went ahead and did that. So that'll be interesting. All right, so I'm going to grab, wish I'd done a separate photo, but this will be fine. This, that, that, and I may even go with these two. We'll come back later. But I'll grab those. and I want those. So let's bring them over. 7 items. So I now have to adjust all 7 items. Notice how I've staged all these? So I now have to go ahead and figure out how I'm going to reduce them. So I want to reduce them all, so I have them all selected at the same time I take it. So as I have them, I now got to figure out how I'm going to put all of these in the same shooting match. I want to reduce them, then I need to spread them out. Do I have them all is the question. Let's see if I actually have them all. I don't know if I have them all. That actually works to my advantage if I have those two like that. So let me go back and grab the other photos. Let me get this one. I know I have 7 photos in there, I just don't know what happened to them all. So I'm going to grab this one too. I just don't know where they are. I'm baffled. But again, nothing is perfect. So then close the browser out, reduce the picture size. That's not what I want. And I want to make sure that my pictures are somewhat uniformed. In this case, I've got Gem Attire here. And I'm going to rotate the picture in this case. So I have that there. I have enough room for it, I hope. And I'm also going to go ahead and grab the other one. And what I may do, I'll do the same thing. Rotate them. Make it about the same size as that. So now, whoopsie, wrong photo. Okay. And this is now where it becomes interesting. So I may want to actually reduce or bring this down here so we have them both in the same category. Whoops. All right. And then I can bring this down as well. Now bring in pictures of shoes. All right, so, and that's what I will do. So go back to Photos, Pictures, and go to Photo Browser and select My Shoes. Now, when you see all these, don't laugh. And there's a reason why. You're going to crack up when you say, God, he's got so many freaking shoes. Why? All this to go ahead and pull up weight and see, again, appeal. There's a reason why. Everything isn't appeal. There's a reason why I have all these shoes like this. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate the picture. And again, keep it congruent with the other photos. Make sure they match. Boom. Then I bring it down to here. Right. So, and again, we want to make sure that everything matches. So again, and I will bring this down here as well. All right, and so now with the photos, I want to actually go ahead and bring a text box around all of them. So I'm going to go ahead, not text box, but a border. So I'm going to quickly create a border so they look decent. So how will I do that? I'll go back to home here in this area, not that far. And I want to go into pictures, quick styles, quick shapes. Go back, go back, go back, go back. No, 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 no. I'll do this. Format object. So I want a border. Line. I want a line. And I do want, let's see what we got going on with that. Let's take a look at the weight. Let's make it a little bit heavier so you can notice it. It's going to take you some time, but I mean, when you do it, the results pay off. Yeah. Okay, I can work with that. Again, I want to bring these down just a little bit. Make sure they're organized. Because the key is you want to make sure that the presentation looks polished. Let's bring that down just a little bit more. Bring that down just a little bit more as well. Okay. So notice that everything that's not just that I just pasted something together, it's basically that I went ahead and I actually have a reason for everything. There's a reason why this looks that way, there's a reason why that looks that way. Notice how they're all attached so that the pictures and the words are the same. The pictures match the words. See? All right. Okay, so now notice that I have all these pictures of shoes because I know that people are going to ask questions about that. So I'm going to go ahead and go into just a little bit of detail about the shoes, but not that much. So I will replicate this slide just one time. And duplicate the slide. And then I will go primarily into this slide and I will focus primarily on the shoes. Get rid of gem attire. Boom. Get rid of that. Don't need it. Get rid of that because I don't need it. Get rid of these because I don't need it. Because I'm just going to focus on the shoes. So I'm going to move this up because this is another subcategory. Focusing on the weightlifting shoes. And then I actually want to create a slide that shows the types of shoes, why we have so many. So I will go out of this, kill that photo, I don't need it. I'm going to bring that down to here. And then I'm going to go to picture browser and I'm going to go and take a look at the various shoes that I have. So I'm going to show this photo, bring that one in, drop and drag. Then I'm going to bring in this photo, drop and drag. All right, thank you. Close the photo browser. And then I'm going to adjust the photos so they fit. And then I'm going to actually provide a caption for them so then that people know why we have these types of shoes. It's not that, I'm in love with gym shoes. I have a fascination with them, but not that much of one. And then we can do a side-by-side comparison. So I'm going to then rotate the photos. Rotate the photo here again. Okay, and make sure that the photos are matching. Here I see they're not. So I need to go ahead and make sure it matches, which they do now. So here, now the question is like, what do I do with the photos? Do I want them bigger or do I want them smaller? Probably a little bit smaller, because I'm going to pop in some text right below them. I need that. And again, look at your guides. Your guides, believe it or not, folks, they are your friends. Your guides are your friends. So we'll check to make sure that the photos are the same. Are they matching? And they are not. Now they're matching. Guides, folks, they are your friends. All right. Now, again, same deal. I want borders around both of them. Weight the border. Same color. Let's take a look at the weight of it. Go back here, take my chances, format object, line, weight, make it big. 2.75. That's too big, I think. Let's bring it down just to here. Out of the way. It's too big and I don't like the color. So let's go back and fix that. Undo. Let's see what the borders look like. That's not bad, actually. I can roll with that. That's not that bad. All right. So here, I'm now going to, do I have a shadow around them too? I'd like to put a shadow around the photos. Format object. Give me a shadow. That's fine. Remember, presentation provides a little depth. Okay, now, I'm going to now basically provide this. Now the text box, copy, paste. And I'm going to adjust this. Too small. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is adjust the font. Make it about a 12, maybe a 10. Because I want them all on the same line. Let's see what happens when I do this. We're good. All right. So I want to say that these are, I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to go into, again, specifics and details. These are Olympic CrossFit shoes. Let's bring that down a little bit too. Maybe that font needs to be raised a little bit. And let's bring that back down to a 10. It would help if I grab the actual stuff. Let's center that. Can I make it a little bit bigger? Little bit bigger. 12. Okay. And let's reduce that. Better. So now I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to move this over. And this, change the name here. These are not Olympic or CrossFit shoes. In fact, these basically are wrestling or Converse. We call them Chucks. Flat. Flat-soled shoes. Okay, and then we'll go into detail. These are Olympic or CrossFit training shoes. These are flat-soled shoes. And in my speech, as I go into more detail, I will let people know more and more about it. All right, so from here, we now have to create how many more sets of slides? I have to create a slide now that talks about what? We have the lifting shoes. I have the equipment needed. So now I have to go into stretching. So I need a slide that talks about stretching. Then I need a slide that talks about executing the lift. Not a bad thing. So, do I have a picture of me stretching someplace? I'm sure I do. Let me get it. Let's see. Let's go back to the side that talks about stretching. So I will need to just basically give some information about the types of stretches that we would use. I don't have a photo of me stretching right now, but I could get one later. So I'm going to go ahead and right now just talk about the stretches that I've talked about in the outline. So what do? I go back to the outline, and where is it? So I will need to have pictures of the following types of stretches. So I can go ahead and locate those at another time. But I will go ahead and actually create text boxes for these. So by the time we get back, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break. But I'm going to create text boxes for the ones that we saw earlier. When we get back, I will then go into the final set of slides, which will be executing the lift. Okay, we'll see you in a little bit. Thank you for your time, your patience, and cooperation. We will see you shortly.